Hello, hello, hello. I have my inverted skull rock and I'm sweating. I just took a shower and the hot shower made me just pour sweat out of my pores. But that's okay. And I want to talk about my artwork and psychology. So I finished two pieces today. Two amazing art pieces that I had been working on for quite a while at this house here. Behind me is my art also on the wall. And I decided I'm gonna put the big one in the garage. I'm gonna hang the big one in between those 8x8 beams, and that's gonna look really nice. Are those 8x8 beams? I don't even know. No, I think they're 2x8 or something like this. And the garage is built like this with those wooden beams, and it looks really nice, and my artwork looks really nice in there. So, and the other one is one of those pear coffee containers that are cylindrical, and I have painted many of those in Germany and in the United States. Many, I would say over 100 of those I have painted, and it takes me a long time to paint those also because I put many paint applications on it to make it really shiny. So same with the nail polish. I put 3 applications on it, and it makes it look nice. So now one is coming in. I'm making a video. Yes, video. I'm making a video. So the cat is in the house now because it's raining outside. We're cold and wet outside, and the cat is cold, and she came into the house and is sleeping on the couch in the living room, and that's nice. And she slept on the couch last night also. And then when I went to the bathroom at 4 o'clock in the morning, she got up and needed to go to the bathroom too. We had to let her out. So, but I don't know what happened to the cat. The cat came to us. That's what cats do. Cats are called free spirits by animal control officers, and they are spiritual, and they're very psychic and intuitive, and they go by which house feels good to them. So they come to us, and the lady next door, she's also very nice. She sings sometimes like I do, and she gives them food. Okay, she feeds all of those strays, and we do too. And she might already have other animals, so maybe that's why the cat's coming to us, because we don't have another animal currently. And if we had a dog, a papa dog, the papa dog would not tolerate a cat. So, but she likes to come to us. She also likes to get petted. I assume that the people at the end of the street, when they moved out, they left cats behind, and I don't know what the cat has been through. The cat's quite skittish. So she lets you pet her, but when someone walks briskly through the house, she gets scared and she runs. And so I don't know what happened to her. She may have been traumatized, and makes me infinitely sad to see. So we have to give her love and stability in her life now, and quietness and calmness, petting and comfort and food and safety, total safety, and where she can be on the couch and all of this. The problem is she's not gonna let us wash her. That's gonna be the problem. So, and I don't want to scare her, but she's gonna need to be washed if she wants to stay with us. So then we're gonna have to get a chest harness for her and a leash. And I don't know if she's gonna be getting used to that and gonna get used to traveling with us in the van. So I don't know how we're gonna do this. So the cat of Eric Jacobs, Nomadic Fanatic, I don't know. He's very famous on YouTube. I don't know if any of you guys heard about him. Eric Jacobs. He has been traveling with his cat Jax throughout the entire United States. And he went through motorhomes and vans, and now he has a really elaborate big motorhome. And then he also adopted a female cat who also looks like Jax, striped tabby. And Jax was an exceptionally large cat, and October 21, it was today, when he had to have Jax euthanized because he was very old and he had lung problems. And I didn't even recognize, I hadn't watched his videos in a couple of years actually. I didn't even recognize Jax. He was always really fat and happy, and now he lost a lot of weight and looked like an old cat, like a real old male cat, old man. And he still had the same facial expression. And so that was his video today of different sequences bringing him to the vet, the inspection by the vet and diagnosis, and then having to make that decision. And that was very difficult for Eric because Eric and Jax, they're nuclear family. So I cried a whole lot when I watched that video. I can just imagine how infinitely sad Eric must be. They were completely bonded together, like father and son, or two brothers. But he gave Jax a companion because sometimes he would be going places where you can't bring a cat, and he didn't want to leave Jax alone for too long, even though, those are cats, but they can also get anxiety. People always think they stereotype animals, and they say cats are solitary or cats don't need this or that, but they do. They're mammals. They may tend to be quite solitary at times, roaming around, and they are very curious. They check things out. They're also partly nocturnal, I think, and they catch mouses at night and rats. But they also need companionship. They would much rather have companionship, as all mammals need companionship, particularly herd animals like horses and dogs and humans. And humans are not, also definitely not made to live like a hermit, like they're not made to live, not even as two people live away from the community. So that's what my biggest challenge is right now in my life. I am disconnected from the community, from most communities, there are a few friends I have on the internet that I talk to. It meant a lot to me to be in the chat room, but the haters make communication very, very difficult, and it's very sad. And now they also terminated the chat room for that video. So, and I don't know where all these people are hanging out now. So for me personally, I need to be forced to not be in the chat room. So for me personally, those things are good when that happens, because that's how I was able to finish my artworks today, because I spent most day with my artworks. And that's also how I get sewing work done. I sew my own clothes. I sew a bunch of clothes myself. I'm a designer. I'm learning all the time. And I'm making a real amazing sweater right now. Really amazing at the other house. That's in progress right now. We're gonna go back in a couple of days. I'm gonna be working on that sweater every day and hopefully finishing it before we come back here. And that's an amazing sweater made out of different plush materials. Looks super. And I'm experimenting with the style, with the cut, and it's really fun. I'm learning a lot particularly about the shape of the sweater and the different materials and how they have to move and stretch. And I know that the future of clothing is 100% stretch, bouncy material that stretches without getting stretched out. It stretches really far in all directions, like those Arc'teryx jackets. So those weatherproof Arc'teryx, I have one of those. Those are amazing. That's an amazing material. And then Paul found on the internet on sale from Swiss Tech or Swiss Army Knife, Swiss company, real amazing, great, high quality clothing and accessories and knives and all kinds of things for hiking, stuff like that. And real high quality stuff they make. And Paul found these camouflage pants that are also stretching in all directions and that have that same weatherproof material as very similar to the Arc'teryx and the Mountain Hardwear jackets. So very similar to that. You can see that those pants in my last belly dancing video. So I'm wearing those pants there. Those are so warm and comfortable and amazing. I had to do some adjustments to it. I had to put a rubber band into the waistband area as a waistband so that I don't always have to wear a belt, and it was quite loose actually. So, but it's better to have it a little bit loose than too tight fitting, of course. And then on the bottom I put the inner fodder material that's in it, that has already rubber bands in it, internal rubber bands. I cut those out and I put those rubber bands into the bottom seam of the legs. And now I made fantastic pants with that now. Those are absolutely fantastic, super great, and work really well. And this is the future of clothing. Everything has to be stretching, really far stretching, like a chewing gum, but it has to also immediately bounce back, you know. So it moves with you, with your, like a second skin. That's the future of clothing. That's also the future of any kind of clothing material for sports, and also for astronauts. So I already watched the Mars documentary films on the clothing that they're going to be wearing in the future, kind of like, you know, like animation, but very realistic animation of living on Mars. And those astronauts suits are going to be, they're going to be very flexible and much lighter weight and really super. And then at some point when they terraform Mars, then people can walk around in those flexible spacesuits, and they might in the beginning still need an oxygen tank, but the skin can already, like the face for example, can already be exposed to the air, but it takes a while until it gets to that point, and eventually they're going to be running around Mars without any kind of protective gear, you know, and they'll be able to breathe the air. So that's going to be awesome. And they said it will take approximately 100 years to fully terraform Mars. They're going to start with mosses that they bring from the earth, and those mosses are adapted to live in very high altitudes, like in the Himalayan mountain ranges, where nothing else grows other than mosses. Those are very rudimentary life forms with chlorophyll that convert the sunlight into energy and into food for themselves, they create that photosynthesis, and this amazing process of converting the nutrients into cells. So they start with those, and then very gradually they go to larger plants, very gradually to, probably first they go to sagebrushes, those types that grow in the desert, and then eventually they grow small trees, maybe bonsai trees or something, and then eventually they grow evergreen trees and nido trees, and those types that are also very, very adapted to very cold climate, very harsh climates. And then they will grow up, you know, they will grow over all of those mountain ranges on Mars. Olympus Mons, is it called, I think. That's the real humongous mountain. And there will be nido trees growing on it. And they will evaporate out oxygen, and we need oxygen here on Earth. People want to ruin it with their greed, with their commerce. They want to cut down the Amazon rainforest. That's a catastrophe, okay? They want to overfish the oceans. That's a catastrophe, because the oceans have a whole lot of plants, ocean plants, that evaporate out oxygen. We get a very large percentage of oxygen on this planet from the ocean. Okay, people don't know any of these things. They don't know biology, so they go out there. They are greedy. They want to go fishing, and it's very unhealthy to do this. Okay, to the fishermen, it's very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy to the ocean life. You know, we see those fishing boats from our house at the other house, because we're up high in the rolling hills, and from there we're a couple of miles away from the ocean, but we can see in the distance, we can see at night, we can see those fishing boats with their floodlights out there at the horizon, and that's not nice to see that at all, because it makes me worry. And they catch octopus and dolphins, and those are highly sentient beings. Dolphins are mammals, whales are mammals, porpoises are mammals. Okay. Then there are highly evolved fish, like the whale shark. That's a fish, but highly evolved. Tuna are highly evolved fish. They evolved parallel to us. They're still fish technically, but they're very evolved. Okay, so my friend Sandy showed me an amazing video today on Facebook of a French video. Some French person filmed this out in the ocean. They were out there with their boats. I guess they were whale petting, and they had their Labrador dog with them on the boat, and a whale shark came up, real curious. Those are fish, but highly evolved, so very intelligent already because they're evolved. Okay, so I mean, any kind of species, like even the octopus, very evolved, but parallel evolved, did not go through those stages that we went through, but parallel evolved also to, I would say, equal intelligence. This is amazing, absolutely surreal. And we split off from the octopus, like, I don't know, when on our human lineage, when we were still flukes, ocean flukes, ocean worms, about that size, that paddle themselves through, that swim like an eel, but they're still like worm type of invertebrates. That's when the octopus split off. It's that far back. Okay. Everything is related. All life is related. Okay. And then they evolve parallel to us, until they have all these tentacles. They can open jars with those tentacles. That takes intelligence, of course. And that whale shark, also very evolved, intelligent. He sees through the surface of the water above him. He sees this dog there, barking and looking curiously at the whale shark. The dog was extremely curious about that whale shark and excited. Labradors are such infinitely loving and peaceful and intelligent dogs. That's why they use those in law enforcement. They use those as service dogs for blind people, and they use them as service dogs for all kinds of people that are disabled. They use them to detect drugs. They're highly intelligent, and they want to please. They want to cooperate with people so badly. And then recently, the other day, I saw that there are people, they stabbed a baby Labrador in the belly to make a video with it to get views. Okay. And that happens all the time. It is horrific. It's infinitely horrific, and I get a nervous breakdown when I come across a video like this. I report those, of course, and a lot of people reported that video and other videos. And Lady Freethinker is an animal rights activist. She is suing YouTube to get these cruel videos off the air, and YouTube refuses because they make money on it. They put the money over ethics. That's why she's suing them, and she must sue them. It's very important that these cruel people that these cruel people are not allowed to have cruel videos on their channels where they even make money on it. Okay, they put those cruel people are completely callous. They have absolutely no compassion at all. When I saw that, there was a lady here to help Paul with a hearing phone, and I wanted to be quiet while I was on my computer. But when I saw that, when I came across that petition, which I signed, and I want everyone else to sign this as well, I put the link under one of my last videos. I did that one on the day when we came back here. The link is under one of my last videos. Please sign this, is very important. Okay, so how someone can do this to an innocent, pleasing baby dog. This is so infinitely abhorrent, and they're so intelligent, and they're so loving. I hope that dog gets rescued. I hope that baby Labrador gets rescued. My gosh. Blue God, protect all living beings. That's what I say every day. So when Sandy sends me something, Sandy's my angel. When she sends me something, it's always something beautiful and positive. Something that makes her and me feel better. We're both animal rights activists. We both cry almost every day. We both go through the same grief and pain. We know how it feels. We comfort each other with this. And I'm infinitely grateful to have Sandy as my friend. Someone who understands how I feel, and Paul understands too. And that lady who was here the other day for the hearing, she seems to be super compassionate. I gave her a book about Mark Zuckerberg. I gave her a self-made perfume oil, and I put Lady Freethinker wrote into the book so that she will go to her website and find that particular petition to sign. And she was right away, she was on board with this, and she said, of course she will do this. And Paul was real mad at me that I brought that up, that I bothered someone who would come there as a hearing aid service, and I would bother someone like that with that. But she said to him, no, it's okay, she cares, she wants to sign that, she wants to go on that website. And I wanted to give her a hug real bad, but because of the social distancing, I couldn't do it. But she reached out to give me her hand, and I grabbed her hand and shook her hand. And then Paul got all sweaty and nervous about that. And then when she left, he was like, you have to sanitize your hands now, and then you have to let it dry on the air, and then you have to wash your hands. And he's like extra nervous about this. And he's particularly nervous that I could get the virus, and then he would be alone. And see, now back to that subject. Then what kind of pressure is that? That is humongous pressure. It's not that I'm mad at him for that, but it's just a situational pressure on me. I feel like I can never leave Paul. I can never leave Paul alone. If I can get that lady with the hearing things, Paul thinks she likes him, and I thought so too. I was like, whoa, now that would be the ultra match in heaven. Yeah, if I can match her with Paul, my gosh, that would be so incredible. He has her phone number, so I don't want her to go to Chicago. That's not safe. So she's going all over the country to bring people these hearing aids for. That's some kind of service. I guess working together with the government or something. A real wonderful person. I was so grateful that she came over. So real kind-hearted, and it's rare, to meet someone kind-hearted. So and Sandy sent me this amazing video of the Labrador who made friends with the whale shark, and they touched each other's noses again and again, and they were both extremely curious and excited. Wow, that is an interesting being there. Look at that interesting being. Oh, look, I've never seen one of those. Both of them, so they were thinking the same thing. And that is so sweet and so lovely. So that's what I want to convey to the world, is that we're not the only species that is sentient and that feels things. And we're not the only species that has cognitive abstract thinking. Okay. The whales, particularly the very large whales, Macrocephalus, blue whale, and the gray whales and the humpback whales, those are highly intelligent, highly evolved beings. They think abstract. Scientists found that. They found way more spindle cells that are standing for abstract cognitive thinking, like math and philosophy, thinking about consequences, thinking about, extrapolating into the future, thinking about psychology. Those are abstract thoughts with abstract concepts, okay, that are immaterial, like jealousy. You can't touch jealousy, but it's there. The ego is there. They think about these things, believe it or not. I don't know if I'm sure they do. They must be. They think about humans. Paul Watson talked about that. He had an encounter with a Macrocephalus family, and the father watching how his family members, his children and his wife, were harpooned to death in front of him by Japanese fishermen. And Paul Watson and a few other people were there on a small boat. That was still during the Greenpeace time. Paul Watson founded Greenpeace. Okay, that's when they were still helping them. That's when they were still doing something. They were risking their lives to save the animals. And you can find the speech that he gave about this. You can find that on YouTube. Very, very interesting and infinitely sad. The father whale, highly evolved, cognitive thinking, like we are, comes up to the surface, looks them in the eye. They have eyes on the side. Looks him in the eye with one eye. And he felt total intelligence from that whale, and a knowing, and a sadness. And that eye, without making any sounds, the whale conveyed with that eye an energy to Paul Watson that said, I feel sorry for your species. I feel sorry for what you're doing. to other beings, to yourselves, and to the planet. And I believe it 100%. I believe the whales know. They see what humans are doing. They see what, there was a mother, dolphin mother. She saw her juvenile dolphin son, they're just like us. The juvenile boys are the most curious. I met juvenile boy horses, wild horses, that came up to me. Those are the most curious. Those are the most bold and risk-taking. And they came up to me. They took an apple from me, although they had bad experiences with people. But they could sense my energy, that I was a friend. While the other ones stayed behind. They just watched. And then there was the dolphin juvenile boy, and he was curious. He was going up to a fisher boat because he wanted to meet them. And the mother got real mad at him, and she pushed him with her nose, pushed him back down, far away from that boat. And someone filmed this, and she, with her nose, and also with echolocation, communicated to him in a very fierce way, don't go up to that boat. Okay. Now that's how sentient those beings are. Okay. They know the fisher boats. They know those people. They know the Japanese fisher people, the whale hunters. They know who is who. They know who comes out there as eco-tourists, who goes out there in Baja California to do whale petting and meeting gray whale mothers with their baby calves, and they come up and they like to be petted. They like that interaction with people. Okay. They know who is who. They're highly evolved, highly sentient. Okay. And we need to respect them. We need to respect all living beings. Okay. That's my message in all of my videos. Okay. You guys take care.